Hey everybody, Dan and Wayne here. I know folks are still trickling in, so we're going to give people about 5 minutes to join, and then we'll kick things off here. See some existing Ownwell customers in the audience, which is amazing. And maybe just to kick things off, um, if you could just type into the chat if you are using either or both Purelend and Ownwell today. That'll just give us a kind of a good feel for the audience. So just place your info in the chat there. Okay, cool. Okay, Charlene's using both. Okay, I've got some Ownwell
Awesome.
customers here. Wayne, are you able to see the webinar chat by any chance?
Yeah, let me just go. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah,
Okay, nice.
perfect.
Okay, then we've got some people that are looking to learn about both. We've got Adam Mansbridge in the house, Samuel, Colin. Right on. Okay, this is great. And then we've got some people that aren't using either yet, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So our goal
great.
is to make this valuable for those of you that are either existing Purelend customers but aren't familiar with Ownwell, or inversely, if you're Ownwell customers that aren't familiar with Purelend, or if you are using neither, want to make it useful for you guys as well. So this is great. Looks like we've got a really good mix here. Um,
Awesome.
All right. Okay, we're at 70 attendees in here, which
Wow.
is really awesome so far. Really
Awesome.
high attendance. Usually webinars it can be hit and miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get I don't know, like half people attending and everyone waiting for the recording, but this is really great.
Yeah, especially during this time of the year, right? Spring market, everyone's busy. It's nice. I'm really happy. I appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Rod in the house. Thanks for your support, Rod. A big supporter here. This is
Yeah,
great.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. And Crystal's asking, are you able to receive the recording? Yes, I am. Actually, let me just check. Am I recording this?
You are. Yeah.
Yes, I am. Okay, thank God. All right, yeah,
Mhm.
I'll share the recording link afterwards. So, okay, we're at 75 people. We're 3 minutes in. Let's get to it, Wayne, and then
Yeah.
obviously we're distributing the recording, so if anyone's a little bit late, it's not a problem at all. So, just for everyone to understand how this came about, I had met Wayne and Lucas, maybe I guess it was like last fall, and kind of kept in touch.
Yeah.
And I was chatting with some Ownwell customers a couple months ago, who were a little bit stressed out about everything that was going on in the AI and automation world,
Mhm.
and they were asking me like, "Hey, like, you know, am I falling behind? Should I be building my own CRM? Should I be building my own website?" And I asked them, well, like, what problem are you guys trying to solve? And admittedly, in a lot of these conversations, it wasn't necessarily obvious what business problem they had to solve. They were just feeling like overwhelmed and stressed with like all these new capabilities. And one of the things that I learned from this conversation was that this particular broker was wondering if he should be building some kind of a AI assistant to help
Right.
his assistant with document review. And I was like, hold on a second, like you're using Purelend, right? And he's like, no, like I'm not. I'm like, okay, well, maybe before you go and try to build your own version of that, you could literally right now, within like half an hour, sign up for a free trial,
Mhm.
test it out on like a really complicated file, and then you're going to be miles ahead of where you are now. So I guess that what was surprising to me about this conversation, and maybe it's obvious in retrospect, but there's all this overwhelm about what should I be doing right now with AI, that
Yeah.
some people are missing out on what to me are some of the most obvious opportunities that are already built that you should just be using. And so Purelent's a great example of that. I like to think Ownwell is too.
Mhm.
So Wayne and I got to talking, and we realized we had a bunch of mutual customers who were really crushing it, frankly, by using our two tools together. And I realized that they were quite complementary. And we're going to walk you through why that is today. I think many of you guys know me, Dan MacDonald, co-founder and CEO here at Ownwell. Wayne, do you want to introduce yourself before I get into the slides?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Wayne Kainu, one of the co-founders here. Purelend. Been in the mortgage industry a long time. Just to let you know, I started before this. I was the head of mortgages at Neo Financial, launching their mortgage product, becoming an accredited mortgage lender, and then before that, I had a national brokerage for 13 years, and then started my career in the banks. So, mortgage sales force at TD for 5 years. So I, understand a lot of the pain point, lived the pain points that Purelend is solving. So excited to go through this with everybody.
Awesome. And Wayne, great that you've actually, been in the shoes of many of the people on the call today. And I actually have never been a broker myself. I've just been building and selling software to the industry for a while. Previous to starting Ownwell, I was the chief product officer over at Lendesk, where we built Finmo and Lender Spotlight. So I want you, Wayne, to keep me honest today during my demo and presentation. If you've got any tough questions for me from a real broker, please lob them my way. We are going to spend a bunch of time on Q&A at the end. So please, anyone, if you have questions as you go, just fire them off into the chat. We're likely not going to answer them, in the moment, because we want to keep this short and snappy and get through everything quickly, so we have dedicated time for Q&A. But we'll go through the chat at the end and go through any questions. So without further ado, I'll get started. The plan for today is got a little intro that I'll walk you through here. Take maybe about a minute. I'll hand things over to Wayne. Wayne's going to talk about how brokers are winning tons of their time back with Purelend. I'll then take it over, do a similar thing with Ownwell, but about how to get more business from your existing database. Go over some of the new features that we've launched recently. Then I'll kind of wrap things up, and we've got offers for everyone that's attending today. We'll go through that, and then, as I said, we'll have about 20 minutes left over at the end for any questions. So I'll get right into it then. We don't think that most brokers have a lead problem today, believe it or not. When we really dig deep and ask why 5 times, there's 2 main problems that we see time and time again. One is a time problem. There's always too much to do, and specifically, document review is one of the prime offenders here. That's keeping you from doing more of the things that you could be doing to really move the needle on your business. At the same time, let's say you got some time to spare. The next problem that we hear about is, well, not knowing what to do with that time, not having visibility into exactly who I should call and why, in order to do a better job of serving my clients and to really get more from the clients that I already have. So what we see is, like, of our mutual customers, the brokers that are using both of these tools together really have a great system. And I know I'm selling my own book here, but truthfully, I haven't seen 2 products create as much value for brokers, in all my time in the industry, frankly. So these 2 together really are a really complementary system. So how we think about it is, okay, first challenge, you're spending time on things that could be automated. Purelend solves that problem. That creates more capacity. You can then use that capacity to generate more business from the database that you already have, which is where we come into the equation. And the net result of all this is more deals closed. So, it's been a lot of talk about AI in the mortgage broker space, and it's probably repetitive for you to hear it at this point, but we truly believe that AI isn't going to replace mortgage brokers or anything like that. You'd probably hear those headlines in the news. At the end of the day, for a decision as critical and stressful as home purchases and mortgages, at the end of the day, we feel strongly that people are going to want to talk to a human. That being said, those that are really going to win in this new age are those that are able to optimize their time to do those things that AI can't do, which is advising, connecting with your clients. And so that's how we think brokers are going to win in this new age, is taking the best of the tools that are going to be created by folks like us and others to free up your time so that you're working on the most valuable things that a machine can't do, which is spending time with your clients, which Ownwell helps with. So I'm going to now turn things over to Wayne. Wayne, take it away, and then we'll kick back over to me. I'll stop my share, and then you can take over.
Okay, perfect. Um, Hopefully everyone can see my screen. And I couldn't agree more with Dan's comments. We say the same thing. It is a time issue. It's a time problem. I was just speaking with a broker just yesterday. They said every spring, they're up early, they're going to bed late, they're working on their files, even on weekends. Scrambling on Sunday evening, getting documents all sorted and prepped to submit to the lender on Monday. So, that, and this isn't new. This is something obviously that's been going on for quite some time. And so we feel, again, very strongly that, it is a time problem that brokers have. Every deal, comes with chasing documents, organizing files, verifying income, confirming 90-day down payments. And all these things are very necessary to do. It doesn't move the needle in terms of building your business. It has to get done, right? It's all part of the business. So, and I agree for the fact that, a mortgage is a very emotional, stressful transaction for the end user. These customers are on pins and needles. They need that hand holding. They need somebody instill this confidence in them. And that's where brokers come in. You guys do an incredible job. And the reason why you continue to grow the broker channel and the broker market is because clients want options. They want, a professional to talk to and have their hand held. So couldn't agree more with that. And once again, we take a look at what we've done here. The question is, how do you grow your volume without hiring more people, right? It's kind of our tagline here. And it's exactly what Purelend is set out to solve, removing the biggest bottleneck and pain point, like I said, that I know and experience for my entire career. When we take a look at, the Purelend replaces, most of the manual parts of the mortgage process. So you think there's three core things that are happening behind the scenes at Purelend. So the first piece, automation. So you can actually upload documents yourself, or we have a new feature where you can request documents directly from the borrower. You get them into the system, into Purelend. They're instantly organized. They're all converted to PDFs. They're even named with your naming convention. So that's something that's never happened before in our industry.
Huge.
Yeah, it's something that's different, right? Something that a lot of people, and this is all based on a lot of, hey, this is feedback that we've been receiving from our user base, our customers, right? So there's no more reviewing and naming documents and dragging them docs into folders at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, right? So the second piece, verification, and this is really where Purelend becomes very powerful. So if you think about income, down payment, all the supporting documents. So deposits and transfers are sourced and verified. Usable income is pulled from all the documents, and then also some common gotchas. So if you just reviewed 50 or even in some cases 100 bank statements, and all of a sudden, you might have missed something that might be a deal killer down the road. So think of buy now, pay later, the Affirm transactions, maybe a recurring debit or informal loan, something like that might kill the deal down the road that you might have missed. You've submitted those documents. Lenders can't unsee documents, and that might come and bite you at the last minute. So instead of finding those issues after submission and the underwriter coming back to you going, okay, what's this? Can you let us know what this is all about? You catch them before you actually submit them. The third part is reporting. So everything gets turned into a really nice, clean, lender-ready submission report. So, we support stated income deals, transferring 12 months of bank statements into a really nice income statement, all in Excel. So you're not just organized, they're transparent, they're simple, and it's something that an underwriter can actually move really quickly on. So we hear this from time again. We do have lenders, we have lending partners, we have about 6 lenders currently on our system, but we hear it from underwriters and lenders that are saying, hey, when they see our reports, they know that they can actually adjudicate that file much quicker. We hear that time and time again, and and I'll go through some of these samples here where it's increasing, your time to approval. So speed to decision, speed to getting conditions satisfied, getting to broker complete as quickly as possible. And obviously that is when the stress kind of falls off that file for you and for your clients.
That's really cool. It's like, when I first heard about what you guys were doing, obviously like the value to the broker was so obvious to me, the immediate time savings, but then also the increase in speed for the client, which obviously they love, and then also, making the lender's life easier as well. So you're kind of like winning on three fronts here.
100%. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing, experiencing, and hearing this feedback more and more as more users use this platform. Okay, so the next slide here, it's really what does this mean in the real world? So we are saving brokers on average 2 to 3 hours per file. So that's not
Wow.
theory. That's a lot of time. Obviously, that's actual time back in your day. You think about brokers working on say 10 files a month. 20, 30 hours back every month is huge. So you hear the old saying, working in your business and not on your business. And, what would your business look like if you were able to spend 20, 30 hours working on your business? The security, obviously, we're dealing with very sensitive personal and financial data. Everything is encrypted. We have the highest level of data protection. We do have a Schedule 1 bank that's on our platform as well. So they've done their due diligence, of course. All access controlled. Everyone, no sharing of passwords. Everyone has their own login and their own password, and it's built for compliance. But really, what brokers honestly care about the most, again, is just getting those files cleaner, a cleaner file, faster approval, fewer conditions, because we know, that's how you get paid. You don't get paid until the deal gets funded. So it's very important that, again, we focus. That's really a big part of what all of our brokers are using, and the reason why they love this our platform today. I'm just going to go through a real life example here. I love this one. This one was just came to us about a week ago, and the broker said, they had to confirm. It was a young couple, new purchase. They had to confirm $50,000 for the down payment, and so it just sounded simple until it wasn't. The client had 24 different accounts over 3 different financial institutions, a mix of savings, checking, TFSAs, GICs, you name it. They had everything under the sun. The broker spent a week going back and forth with their client. So again, they receive a couple of documents. They're like, hey, we need 90 days history of this deposit. They go back, download the statements, tracing the transfers, trying to prove source of funds, and going back and forth for that entire week. They figure they put about 8 hours, right? So they're into it for 8 hours going through this. They tried Purelend. They uploaded, it was the broker and their assistant, uploaded everything that they had into Purelend. In about 6 minutes, roughly, every deposit was traced. Every transfer was connected. Full down payment was verified. But the beautiful part of this is that they had this really nice lender ready report that was sent to the lender. It was the last condition on the file. Unfortunately, it was past the condition date on this one. And I think it was the day after. They needed to get to broker complete. A lot of stress was going on. They submitted our packet, all the documents, including our report. They were broker complete in less than an hour. So to think
Wild.
about, a lender going through 24 different statements and, going through all these transactions, as complicated as this one was, they couldn't believe it. So again, they're going to be a customer for life for the fact that, it just made things so much easier. And like I said, the lender was able to get to a decision much, much quicker. The next example I have is, this one is the 12-month bank statement. So again, when it comes to this, is a very time consuming, as anyone who does this type of business knows. So in this example, stated income deal, 12 months bank statements. It was 2 different accounts, a mix of personal and business deposits. So normally you're scanning through line to line, second guessing everything, trying to explain to the lender very clearly and cleanly what we can use and what we can't use. Underwriting criteria, as everybody knows, is very different from lender to lender on this product. So multiple counts can take hours. So with this one, it did take about 4 hours for this client to go through, the broker to go through, again, going back and forth with the client to get the right documents, and then actually having conversations with the client on certain transactions. So they put it into Purelend in 5 minutes. They had a baseline analysis. What we did, we're able to exclude a lot of the personal transactions. Then they just spent 20 minutes just adjusting, reclassifying, confirming that they had recurring income identified, expenses separated, clean monthly breakdown, lender-ready transparent report, again in Excel. It's an Excel spreadsheet that the brokers are submitting to their lenders. So it's the same deal. It was just done in a fraction of the time, and this broker had saved over 3 hours. So it's not just us or me saying this. We do have over 700 users today, and I love the fact that a lot of you guys are on this call today using Purelend every single day. And it's the feedback has been consistent. You drop the docs in, you wait a few minutes, and you're done. So it's a big shift, right? You think about the manual work, the back and forth, the uncertainty, to a real clear, structured, submission-ready file. So I think that is, again, what we've been able to solve here, and excited again that we continue to have enhancements, more features based on all your feedback. So we appreciate anyone who's provided. I know Roddy's been a big fan of ours, but obviously providing incredible feedback, a great critic of ours as well, which has really helped our system better for everybody. Okay, so I am just going to now transfer you over. I'm not sure how much time do I have. I hope I didn't take too long there, Dan.
No, maybe about 7 or 8 minutes for the demo, Wayne, and then perfect.
Okay, so I'm just going to now stop sharing, and I'm just going to share this one now. This is where I'm just going to go through a live demo here. These are always a little bit kitschy sometimes. Make sure
anything can happen, folks. This is live. Could break the whole system.
Yeah. So can you see my screen?
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, so this is our main user interface. Like I said, we do have 2 application types. I'm just going to create this. When I say application, we need very minimal information. So first and last name of the borrower. We can add up to 6 borrowers. If we're doing a down payment, we just need to know the amount of the down payment. This verification date is just the look from date. On my demo, my documents are a little bit old. So if we're doing 90-day down payment, as of today, you would just keep that as is. If you want to collect documents from your client, you just simply click that box. It brings you to this screen where you would apply one of your templates that you would already have in the system here. You're just going to need to move Dan over so I can see this. You create this secure link, and then by creating this link, you would then email this link to your client. And I'm just going to switch to a different screen here. This is what the client will see. So they see these 3 steps, right? Review the checklist, upload your documents, and submit for review. So they continue on. This will be all your branding, by the way. Purelend mortgage brokerage is not a real brokerage. You would then, the client can easily just drag and drop documents in here. They can find them on their computer. So it would be the same way as if they're just using their email and they're drag and dropping documents in here. So this is what's happening right now. It's doing a quick analysis. So if you notice that the document checklist will automatically be checked off as the system is identifying these documents. And so we're looking at the documents. You're not looking at the documents, which is great. And we do hear this quite often. It's like, I don't even look at the documents. It says investments, it knows it's a bank statement. A letter, it knows it's a letter of employment. So it's looking at the actual document and doing that analysis. If I'm the client, I don't have everything right now. There's no hard stop. They can just send these to the broker. They submit these. These are now going over to Purelend. But while the client is in front of their computer, so if it's a Friday, 9 o'clock at night, the client is like, I just need to get this off my plate so I don't have to worry about it this weekend. You might not get to those documents for a few days. And so we kind of solve some of these, minimize the back and forth, right? So, hey, you forgot your T4s, or this document is a little bit too blurry. Do you have a better copy? Perhaps, for example, this, there's no name on this document. And not only is there's no name, it actually took that account number, tried to cross-reference that account number with all the other documents to confirm ownership. And all of it's saying, hey, do you have a void check, something to confirm ownership? What we're hearing from our clients is that the borrowers are going back, they're uploading the proper documents, they're listening, and they're getting better submission packages. So brokers are saying, hey, everything is clean. Then don't have to worry about this back and forth. So again, there's no hard stops. They can submit over to the system. And so that's the first part. So again, really understanding, this is we've solved a lot of issues here. A lot of that back and forth we made as easy as possible. All the reports will generate automatically. The other thing that's happening here is that now that they're in the system, they've all been renamed. Remember, this one was, a letter. Now it's employment letter, the name of the corporation, the name of the client, the date of the letter. You can take a look at it, obviously, and see for yourself. We pull out any information that's important on this file, but you can actually have it so it's your naming convention. It takes 10, 15 minutes to train the system. You tell us how you want these documents named. So every time you drag and drop these documents in, or your client does, they're going to be named how you want them each and every time. And so you can start to sort these. You can merge, different files if you want. You just hit these. For example, merge. Sometimes you might have the same statement, but just 3 different pages of the same statement. You can merge those all together. You can split them out if you have too many documents. You want to, you have letter employment and pay stub. You want to split them individually. You can do that as well. So we've added lots of those features recently. A lot of great feedback again from our customers are on it. And if you notice that this one has been highlighted, it just means that there's been it just hasn't passed our first fraud check on this file. We're adding, subtracting all the transactions, making sure the running balance is correct. We're looking for math and logic fraud on this. So we do see statements. It may not, it could be a legit document. Maybe there's just some errors. This document, it is fraudulent. We did make it in AI, so it's not real. And then, of course, like I said, we look at all these reports. Typically, the reports, depending on how much information, how many documents you have, this could take, 3-4 minutes. It could take up to, say, 7-8 minutes, depending, again, how many transactions, how many documents you have, and how many accounts. So really, going through the down payment, the income, again, we're pulling all the usable income out of the income documents. And I'm just going to quickly, this is the last thing I'm just going to show you here, so now that everything's been pushed over here, I can see we already knew, there might be a few errors here. We already knew we couldn't confirm ownership of that account, but we could see that, hey, we couldn't source this $2,000. So anything within your threshold, and by the way, you can set your threshold. You can change it here. We defaulted to $1,000. But here's the analysis. In, again, a few minutes, we've been able to successfully confirm $30,000 over the last 90 days. We show you the current balance in all these accounts. We show you what we're able to verify. And we support pretty much everything you could use for down payment. So think about, insurance settlements, legal documents, a bill of sale for a vehicle. If you have a gift letter, we'll analyze it, reconcile that here. If you upload the offer to purchase, at deposit receipts, those will be listed here. And then really the heart of it is here where we list every single large deposit. So I know a lot of brokers will do this manually, but we list every single large deposit. If we did need to use this $2,000, you can actually just click it. You can see for yourself that, brings you right not only to the statement, but actually to the page so you can get back to your client really quick. And I'm just going to show you one more thing here before I finish, and hopefully my time, I'm not going over here. This is the report that you would generate. Again, ready to submit to the lender. Again, this would be all your branding, everything we just went through. And of course, the lenders do love this. Underwriters do love 2 things. They love how detailed this analysis is. They use it for their adjudication, and as well as the large deposits and transfers. We list every single one out for you here. And so the underwriters are saying, hey, I can use this as a playbook. It tells me for this 30,000 where to go. I go to this statement on this page, the corresponding transactions on this statement on this page. So again, a lot of great brokers would do this manually. It takes them forever to do this, where this is all done, ready to go, ready to submit within a few minutes. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing here. So that is really, in a nutshell. I mean, there is other features and other things that we have. For example, pulling usable income out. We do the 12-month bank statements, things like that. But just to make sure you guys know that this is really the doc collection piece has been a big one. We've had a lot of uptick on it. I would say 80% of our users are using that on every file right now. So again, just minimizing that back and forth.
Incredible. That's awesome, Wayne. Really, really impressive stuff. It's just a total no-brainer in my view. Just so much time savings, both for you, for the client, for the lender, win, win, win. Okay, well, now that you've saved, several hours per file, what do you do with all that time? Okay, well, you're probably in the thick of the renewal wave right now. I guess the message I want to broadcast the group here is obviously you're going to work your renewals, but from what we're hearing from brokers, it's a really challenging situation right now with the banks being as competitive as they are. And what seems obvious to me is like, you guys are competing with these institutions that have this structural unfair advantage at the exact moment when they are, most motivated to compete. So that's just a tough situation to be in. And yet, at the same time, what we know is that there's this hidden market of largely unmonitored mortgages out there with your existing clients. What we've tracked as the number from like doing all the CMHC research, the Canadian Real Estate Association research, 1 in 8 existing mortgage holders is going to experience a mortgage related event this year outside of the renewal cycle. Where these are coming from are largely personal life situation type changes. Oftentimes it is like income disruption, divorce, or marriage, and asset consolidation, death. There's all these reasons why someone is going to have an unexpected mortgage change. And in fact, 60% of mortgages are actually broken before term end. And collectively, every year in Canada, there's on average 300 billion in annual mortgage activity outside of that renewal cycle. Now, why I think this is so important is this is where you have a structural advantage over the lender, because unlike the lender, you actually have an incentive to save your client money mid-cycle, whereas the bank does not. So there's this kind of dichotomy where, on the one hand, everyone's focused on renewals right now, and that's the lender's home turf, more or less. And yet there's all of this other opportunity out there that most brokers are missing out on today. So how I like to think about renewals, at least right now in this current market, is identify those clients quickly that need something more than just the lowest rate. For those that are interested in rate, just send them to the branch, let the bank win on rate, because you're going to, you might, lose the battle, but you're going to win the war in the long term. And then focus your advantage before renewal where we know you have an advantage. So I'll walk you through some of the problems with that, because today what we hear is that most brokers are actually missing out on these mid-cycle deals, but Ownwell solves that problem, and I'll explain why. So the first problem that we see is that most brokers don't know who to call. You might have hundreds of clients, so how are you going to know, who to call and when? And unfortunately, because that's such a hard choice, because you don't have visibility right now, typically most brokers resort to kind of generic communication, like the happy birthday email, the mortgage anniversary, etc. But Ownwell gives you X-ray vision into your database to see who has a potential mortgage opportunity right now so that you can call them. And it's continuously doing that monitoring every day, every month. At the same time, that generic outreach that I mentioned that isn't keeping you in the right place at the right time, we solve that by allowing you to give your clients the most valuable information they could get from their mortgage advisor. It's hyper specific to them. It's their home value, their rate situation, their equity, and they engage because it's specific to them, not generic to everyone. And so because you're able to show up automatically every month with this value, this relevant value, when their life does change, and it's going to be 1 in 8 people likely this year who experience that need, you're actually going to be that first call and not be, an afterthought, because, otherwise maybe that person who's not the most qualified advisor, if they're just in the right place at the right time, they might win that deal. But if you're able to show up in a relevant way frequently, consistently, then you'll be the one who's top of mind. So before I show you what this looks like in practice, I'd just like to share this story from one of our favorite customers, Jeff. He was one of our earliest customers, and he's had a lot of success with Ownwell. And when I asked him about some of the stories behind the deals that he attributed to Ownwell, this one stood out. It's the first deal that he got from Ownwell. What happened is basically a client of Jeff's decided to buy his current place and sell another one because of the Ownwell report. So why did this occur? The client reached out to Jeff, questioning the buying power number in the report. He's like, "Hey, Jeff, can I actually afford this much home?" And so Jeff connected him with a realtor partner who did an assessment of the property, confirmed the value, and client decided to sell. Why this happened in the first place is this guy had gone through a divorce a couple months prior. And at the time, he had to move away, 40 minutes away from his kids because that's all he could afford. But, in the years that passed, his equity went up, rates went down. He has no idea that his situation has changed, but it has. And Jeff is the one who's able to inform him and all of his other clients of their buying power and their other mortgage related opportunities automatically through that report each month. So this is an example of a deal that literally would not have happened because the client simply was unaware of their situation in the first place. And I think this has been my biggest learning since starting Ownwell. And it's kind of been shocking to me as someone that focuses on this industry. I guess I'm too close to it. And it's that most consumers in Canada, most homeowners have no idea what their situation is after closing, in the years that pass. And that's why this is such a big opportunity, is because you can be that person to show them what they're missing and, and win those deals. So I'm going to show you what kind of results you might expect with Ownwell. From our top performers, we see an ROI in the 20 to 50 times range. We've got some examples here of folks with different database sizes, because it is going to be a function of the number of homeowners that are receiving these insights from you. But look at Amanda. Total database size, 75 past clients. She attributed 10 new transactions to Ownwell in the 6 months since signing up. Taylor from Bricks, based out of Kelowna, database size of about 100 past clients. Just by focusing on the opportunities that Ownwell had surfaced for him, he generated an extra 44K in 1 month. So these are the types of stories that we hear, and it's consistent as well. These folks aren't outliers. So actually, maybe before I share the demo, maybe I'll touch on a few things that I see those top performers from the previous slide doing a bit differently, and hopefully this is going to be beneficial for our existing customers that are on the call as well. What we did is we did a big survey of all of our customers' results, and then took those self-reported results and compared them to the behaviors that we could see them taking in the app. And then we had some conversations with them to understand what they were doing. So first behavior of our top performers, they don't try to cherry pick which clients to add to Ownwell. A lot of brokers will say, it's not going to be relevant for this person because they just bought their home last year, or this person can't save money, so I don't want to send this to them, or this person's home value has likely declined, so I don't want to send it. That is the exact opposite of what we see generating the best results. Why? Is we've already proven today, hopefully, that it's impossible to predict at scale who is going to experience this need and when, because it is often something that is not due to economics, but personal life stuff that results in this new need. And so because it's a function of the number of homeowners receiving this, just get everyone with a home into Ownwell. Second thing, don't worry about perfection. Start fast, perfect later. Some people will be like, my data is a bit messy. Don't worry about it. We've taken all that into account. We have not built Ownwell for people with perfect databases. We know it's messy. That's totally fine. All the expectations with the client are managed up front, and you can always refine things later in Ownwell. So the top performers, they just want to get started because they know that every month that passes, their database is leaking deals. Next thing, embrace every conversation. Our top performers, they want all the conversation, good and bad. So hey, someone might find out, wow, they bought 5 years ago in Toronto, their home's gone down in value. Our top performers want those conversations. They want those questions. And the reason is every conversation is an opportunity for them to build trust and demonstrate their value, not some other competitor. They can explain, why, for example, that the client might not need to worry about this situation, or they might be able to just touch base and understand a little bit more about what's happening in their lives, and then even connect them with referral partners who, might be able to provide, an assessment of the home or something like that. So again, they want all the conversations. Next thing, don't treat this as a set it and forget it system. Yes, these personalized reports go out automatically each month, But those top performers from the previous page I showed you, they weren't settling for that. They were also proactively reaching out to clients for whom Ownwell had identified a tangible mortgage opportunity, like the ability to profitably break their mortgage. Last thing that our top performers do, they start bringing up Ownwell in the discovery call. Yes, this helps you activate your past clients, but our top performers are using this as a differentiator in their discovery call because they're able to say, hey, look, when you work with me, I monitor your mortgage on an ongoing basis. You'll never be overpaying for your mortgage without knowing about it because you and I will both be notified. By the way, that's not something that you get when you work with a bank because they aren't incentivized to help you save money, but I am. So those are the five, I guess, different behaviors that we've seen that really separate those who really win with this product from those that get average results.
Yeah, and I really love the start fast, perfect later, because as a broker, I'm thinking, okay, this could be a great tool for my business. It could be a step change, but now how much time am I going to have to put into this? Am I going to
Yeah,
have to? Is this going to take a month, two
yeah,
months? You know what I mean? Like it's in my mind, I'm like, this is going to take forever. I don't know how to get like started, right? You know, the fact that you said you
totally.
can actually just get started right away, right? You know,
Yeah,
perfect it as you go.
yeah, totally. What's the saying? Like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And in the demo that I'm going to show you in a moment, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to to get started. So let's do it. So I'm going to start by showing you what you see in Ownwell, and I'll show you as Wayne was hinting at how to get started quickly. I'm going to show you how you can get your first deal like really quickly, and then I'm going to show you what your clients see as well. So um, basically, we don't care where your data is coming from. We work with all the different submission platforms. I'm going to just, for an example today, I'm going to use a Velocity example. You can connect your Finmo account or your Velocity account directly to Ownwell, and Ownwell can just automatically pull everything in. Or you can run a report in Velocity, for example, and upload it here. So that's what I'm going to do in this situation. So just drag and drop your export, and when you do this import, what Ownwell is going to do is it's going to proactively look for any possible issues. So on this screen, I can see a preview of the data that's about to be imported. So it looks like there's a potential error with this first file. And I see that I might have made a mistake with the term. It's saying the term length must be between 1 and 120 months. So let's see what the issue is here. Okay. Oh, I didn't enter it. Okay, easy enough. So basically, you don't have to worry about cleaning this all up in your submission platform first. Just connect it or pop in and export. Our system will flag for you any potential issues or warnings. You can fix them up here and then import them. Now, the import can take a couple minutes, so I'm going to skip past that now and just show you what you'll see after the import is complete. Immediately, our system is going to present to you all of the tangible opportunities that are in your database right now. I'm going to focus on the ones that have been most popular amongst our customers in this market, which is these net savings opportunities. We've heard from some of our customers that these are some of the easiest deals that they've been getting recently versus renewals, because these savings opportunities, the math just justifies it. Like in many cases, the client doesn't have to pay anything up front if it's rolled into the mortgage, and they could save substantial interest right now. So for those of you who have clients from the 2023 and 2024 era, a lot of these folks, even after penalties and closing costs, can save, a lot of money. So that's what we've shown you here. So let's walk through a quick example. So we're saying Arthur might be able to save around 16K after penalties. I'm not going to go through every row in detail here, but all you need to know is that we've shown you how we've arrived at this figure here. We've estimated all of the penalties to a high degree of accuracy. This is consistently one of the most talked about things from our customers that they love about Ownwell. Is it estimates all the penalties instantly, and then on an ongoing basis, it keeps them up to date as posted rates change, as time to maturity changes, as the balance changes. And one question we get all the time is, oh, well, what if this was a TD mortgage? We don't know, we, the broker, we don't know the posted rate. Well, our system does. So we know what the posted rate is. We then incorporate, any kind of discount to the posted rate into the IRD penalty, which is what we've done here. So then over on the right, you can see the math breakdown. So you can see the interest that this client would pay over the remainder of their current term. You can see the interest that they would pay over that same period of time with this new rate. Ownwell is connected to Lender Spotlight. It automatically pulls the rate that we think would be the best fit for this client. You can override this. In fact, you can now set your own custom rate sheet and preferences and lender preferences in Ownwell if you want to kind of be a bit more hands-on here. Then we've estimated the cost of breaking, as I mentioned. In this case, we've set the assumption for those closing costs to be add all to mortgage. So then you can see the cost breakdown here. 18K, that's made up of the fact that we're adding this penalty to the mortgage balance. We have to account for that cost. It's a real economic cost. And then the interest that's going to be paid on that penalty as well, that increased mortgage balance. That's where that 18K is coming from. So you see the net savings over the term. You see the change in the monthly payment. We've done that for all of your files. Now, we've even gone a step further. If you want to get in touch with Arthur and alert him to this and let him know that you've been monitoring his mortgage for him, our little AI writes the email for you. So it pulls in all the relevant numbers and math from that screen that you just saw. You can, of course, edit this. You can change the tone if you like, and customize this to your heart's content. But the idea is we've taken the manual work out of writing that email, copy and paste that into your email, send it to Arthur. Found 16K in potential savings. He's going to open it. So that's how we're telling you who to call this week and when. A couple other categories of opportunities I'll show you really quickly. How about everyone who has a penalty that is going to outweigh the cash flow savings on the remainder of their current term? These people would still like to know about that, because a lot of folks would say, hey, yeah, I don't care if I'm adding maybe $6,000 to my mortgage balance. If I'm going to save like this much money monthly, like sign me up, especially for those folks that might have had some kind of income disruption or facing some financial pressures. As we've identified, that's one of the main drivers of those 1 in 8 who break their mortgage early every year. So you can see the same math here. You can see that in this case, for example, even though there's a massive cash flow savings, in this case, the cost of breaking is still going to exceed those cash flow savings, but you can still let the client know. They, in many cases, will be interested. And even if they're not, it's great for them to know that you're keeping your eye on all this stuff for them. So last thing I'm going to show you here in the opportunities, this is where things I think get quite interesting. This is the most engaged category. These are clients that might not necessarily have any kind of an obvious mortgage opportunity, but what we can see is how they're engaging with their homeownership report. And we can see, for example, those who are engaging with it to a greater extent than others. We can see if they're clicking on things, updating their information, updating their income. When we see that kind of engagement, we flag it to you, because we've learned from talking to our customers that oftentimes these are people that are contemplating a change in the near future. They just haven't told you about it yet. So this way you can get in front of that early and reach out and just say, hey, hope you've been enjoying your report that I've been sending you. Is there anything I can help you with? And then that way you can kind of proactively, learn about what that intent is that they're signaling. So we're going to jump over and show you what your clients see now, and then I'll wrap things up. So this is an example of the homeownership report. Of course, you're front and center here. We're trying to drive them back to you every month. It looks great whether they're looking at this on their mobile device or their desktop. The whole point of everything you see here is to get the client curious, to get them asking questions, to get them engaged, so that you can understand what's going on in their life, demonstrate your value, so that you're the one that gets that next deal. We start with the home value. That's on purpose because, believe it or not, folks, most consumers find mortgages boring. They don't think about mortgages all day long. But what is not boring to them, their biggest investment, and they want to know what's happening with it. Just like people like to check their stock portfolio, they want to know what's going on with their biggest asset. This number changes monthly with the market, and that keeps them coming back each month. This report gets 68% open rates on average, month in, month out. Unsubscribe rate is less than 1%, and that tells us that people really do value getting this stuff every month. We get into the mortgage stuff, so that rate analysis here. In this case, this person would lose money by breaking their mortgage right now. So that's important to tell them as well. They're in a great spot. They don't need to change. This buying power number, this is what got Jeff's client to engage, because in this example, this person's home, their current value is 1.2. They might be able to upgrade to a single family home if they're in Calgary. They could trade up. not going to go through everything here, but one other thing I'll show you is clients can update this information themselves. When they do that, we notify you. That's important because it means that the client is engaged. And again, that engagement might signal that they're getting ready to make a change. So last thing I'll show you in the demo, as you work through this list each week, you can update the status to kind of move people out of your new category. You can set a snooze if, let's say, maybe you've just talked to Stanley, but so you don't want to don't want to email him right now, but you want to be reminded in a month. You can snooze it. So that's the workflow. So enough of the demo. I'll wrap things up. I still want to get to some Q&A. I know we're a bit over time here. Wayne, what's your time looking like? Do you have to leave at the top of the hour?
No, I'm good if we go
Okay.
over.
Beautiful. So what we're going to do, we are a little bit behind here. What we'll do is Wayne and I will stick around. We'll answer all the questions here. If you have to drop off, no problem, because we'll send out the recording later. And if you want to, make sure you see the answers to the questions, you can just watch the recording. Okay. So how it works with Ownwell, one deal will pay for multiple years of the system. Basically, the cost starts at $100 for 100 households. You can see how that works out here. Jeff's investment and Amanda's investment, was paid for several times over. The system that we've described today, the two together, it's going to save you the time to create the capacity to, spend more time generating business from your database, keeping those clients for life equals more deals closed. We've got an offer for everyone here today. Wayne, I'll let you describe what you've got, and then I'll share mine, and then we'll get into questions.
Awesome. So first of all, obviously we have many plans based on volume, different tiers. We do have a month-to-month plan, so there's no long-term commitment. Annual plan, you do get 20% off. We do pool all the deals for the entire year. So some months you're going to use more, some months you're going to use less. And then what we're offering is obviously there is a free trial as well. Everyone gets 2 weeks to try it out, see what your thoughts are. Some people are just going straight to the month-to-month plan, but we are doing full workflow assessment for all new annual signups, which we'll go through your workflow today. We'll do an assessment on how Purelend will fit within that workflow based on all the experience and feedback from others who are using it very successfully and best practices, as well as biweekly training sessions. So a lot of people are, I think this is important. A lot of people have questions. We do have great support. Just we get back to you within a few minutes. If you're in the middle of a file and you need that support, our support team, which is our engineering team, get back to you within a few minutes. But it's also nice to have some biweekly training where we actually run through a bunch of the files that you just went through. Again, going through we always have new enhancements, new features we'll go through. And so we're going to do all that for you guys.
Amazing. So if I sign up within the next 72 hours, so by Friday night at midnight, I'm going to get that free workflow assessment if I sign up. Is that right, Wayne?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
correct.
Cool. Okay, that's great. Amazing. So on our side, what we'll do for everyone in the room today, who hasn't signed up for Ownwell yet, we do live onboarding with everyone multiple times per week. And that has a cost, but we're going to waive that cost. It's a $200 one-time setup fee. That'll be waived for anyone on the call today that signs up before Friday with the code Purelend. I've got that below. I'll send that out in the follow-up email after, so you have that. We just built this new custom rate sheet feature to give you more control over those opportunities. We are going to be charging for that. All of our existing customers get that for free, but we're going to be charging $25 a month for that to new customers ongoing. So if you want to get that for free, you'll also get that if you sign up by Friday. And then we're just starting this. We started this last month. We're now doing monthly training for everyone that signs up as well, because just like you, Wayne, we're always building new stuff, and we want to make sure that you have the latest and know how to use it. So Wayne, just want to make sure I've got this right. To claim this offer, all they got to do is go to your pricing page. You guys will know on the back end if someone signed up before Friday night at midnight to give them that offer. On our side, same deal, except we got to get you to enter that code Purelend when you sign up. On our site, by the way, you can see all the plans, all the pricing. It's all public here. And literally, if you click Get Started, you can literally import your database on your own. And then you can book that live onboarding. And I'll just pull up Purelend's site here as well. So go to pricing. Same deal, right, Wayne? Like people can just sign up on the site. They don't need to call you or anything like that, and they can just get
Self
started.
onboarding, yeah, the
Beautiful.
tutorials to go through it, and yeah, anybody, like I said, walking through a live deal together is something we're offering on this call. So
Amazing. Okay, great. So that's the presentation. We're about 15 minutes over. And now we're going to get into all the Q&A here. So again, I know that a lot of you guys will have to drop off, so don't worry about it. We will send out the recording later, but we'll go through all the questions now. So I'm going to start. I'm just going to go from top to bottom here. I'll shout them out, and Wayne, you can answer the Purelend ones.
yeah,
So will we receive a copy of the webinar? Yes, I will. I'll send that out later today. Tyler had a question. Are you synced with our Finmo mortgage application? Tyler, is this um, a Purelend question or a Ownwell question? I'll let you answer, and I'll come back to you. Another question. For how many past clients do I need for this to be worthwhile? For example, I have 10 past clients at the moment, all closed within the year. Is this too soon to onboard? Okay, so I think this is an Ownwell question. I get it a
yeah,
lot. So firstly, for 10 clients, you want to keep those 10 clients engaged from the get-go. You don't want to have to wait to re-engage them later. So you're not going to see like mortgage opportunities like I just showed you, because these are just recently closed files. They're not going to have like savings opportunities and things like that. But because, as I said, 1 in 8 people tend to experience on average a mortgage-related event each year, I do think it's worth keeping them in Ownwell from the start. And what I would do, because you're going to have about 90 seats for clients left over, is you can use your Ownwell landing page. I didn't get a chance to cover this today, but if you sign up on our annual plan, basically you're able to have this little lead capture page that you can customize with a video, and you can use this. You can send your unique link out to anyone you encounter with a home, in the real world or on the internet. Capture those details. So if I was just starting out in the industry, because I know that homeowners are largely underserved post-closing, I'll be getting anyone with a home into my Ownwell account, friends, family, etc. And then some of them are going to see opportunities. They might start sharing their report with their friends. Then you can also take that into meetings with potential referral partners and show them what you do for clients, and they'll be impressed because most brokers aren't doing this today. Next question: are the clients prompted to update their info in the monthly emails? Yes, they are at certain points along the way. So the first time they get the report, they are prompted to confirm their mortgage info, because we say, hey, this is all based on your old mortgage application, which might be out of date, blah, blah, blah. Click here to update it, or click here to say good enough. And then we'll also prompt them at various points along the way to double check their income and things like that. Ownwell works with Finmo. It does. It links directly with Finmo. So if you've got a Finmo account, you can literally pull everything in immediately. We've got a question for Wayne on the Purelend offer. So for Purelend, is the 20% offer on top of the 20% on the website just referenced there for paying annually, so 40% total?
So no, it is just the 20% in total. The other pieces that offer, obviously, the pool deals, but more importantly is the support that we're giving you on the annual plans.
I think then, and what's specific to this call today is going to be doing that free workflow assessment.
Yeah, exactly.
As well. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, moving on here. Is Purelend planning to use download bank statements directly from the client's account? So I guess this is kind of like scraping, or is that the question? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that technology does exist, obviously, Flinks and a few others. CRA again. There is opportunities to do that. We haven't had the enough feedback yet from clients that are using the platform, only because we still feel that clients are hesitant to give authorization to go into their bank accounts. We will implement that. It is on our roadmap. We don't have it today, but we will have it soon.
It's interesting on that one. Like, just from my own experience, Wayne, like I bank with RBC. Anytime I've tried to use any of these services, it never works for RBC, because I think it's got like the multi-factor authentication set up. So like the screen scraping thing, it's just never worked for me. So I think a lot of people are in that.
Yeah, I hear the same thing. It won't go on other investment accounts or savings accounts, just checking accounts. So I think it's very limited right now as well.
Okay, we've got a question from Shannon. This one's a long one. Good one, Shannon. So I'm not going to read this out. I'm wondering if under the document checklist, there is a way to update the system so that both the client and the broker can clearly see what documents are still outstanding and pending, what documents have already been received, what documents have been reviewed and accepted. So that's the first part of the question. So Wayne, I'll let you take that one, and then I'll read the rest of it.
Yeah, great question. We don't have that today. Certainly, the dog collection piece is a really new feature of ours, just over a month old. So we are waiting, and we have been receiving a ton of feedback and making some enhancements on that. Right now, we don't have it. It will be implemented soon, where you'll automatically send notifications. You can set the notifications of reminding the client that they still owe us some documents.
Okay, great. Next piece of feedback, I think, was it would also be very helpful if the client could automatically receive updates or reminders, letting them know what's going on, what's still outstanding. Totally agree. Makes a lot of sense. I think having that visibility for both the client and the broker would really help streamline the process, 100%.
Yeah.
Just wondering if that functionality already exists or if it's something that could potentially be added.
Yeah, certainly it will be 100%. And that's consistent feedback we've received from others as well. So again, on our roadmap, we move really quick, just so you know. So the more feedback we get on these types of things, the quicker we actually implement them.
Great. And then I've got a question from Bill. You already answered it in the chat, but I want to shout it out so that others can hear this too. The question was, which lenders are accepting Purelend reports?
Yeah, so great question. All lenders accept them. We have even one lender that's saying they're not lending one of our partners, but they are encouraging brokers to use Purelend reports just because it's helping them, again, get to a decision much quicker and making their life easy as well. So all lenders will accept them. They are getting used to seeing them more and more.
Great. Okay, so I got a question from Michelle. I think, Wayne, you covered this pretty well in your presentation. I didn't, so I'm going to answer this on Ownwell's behalf, and then you might want to just reiterate what you said about Purelend. The question from Michelle is, where is the data stored? Is client information shared with any third parties? Is any of the uploaded data used to train AI models? So from Ownwell's perspective, firstly, we are, just as of the end of last month, we are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. That's the same security standard that the banks require. We had to go through that in my time at Lendesk, so we're very familiar with that. So that is the highest level of cybersecurity that you can get. So we've got that. We're also PIPEDA compliant as well. And that's around the privacy and sharing of information. Part of the requirement of that is that all data must be stored in Canada. And so in our case, it absolutely is. There is no client information shared with any third parties. It is your data. If you decide to cancel your Ownwell account, we just delete the data. That's it. We're not using it to train any models. And we don't have any kind of affiliation with networks or other brokerages. We're just an independent Canadian software company. So that's my answer to that question. Wayne, you want to give yours too?
Almost identical. We don't train any of our models with client data. That's important to note, obviously, in terms of disclosure to your clients. So you don't have to disclose that or get their authorization. We fall under the third-party disclosure and consent that you would already have on your application. We do run on SOC 2 compliant infrastructure. We are PIPEDA compliant, and we don't share any of the data. Data is your data. Same thing. It's housed in Canada, and you would be able to, if you want to delete that data, as soon as you delete that application with those documents, it's gone forever.
That's great. And one other thing I want to just highlight, because it's a question we get a lot as well, and I think we can clear this up for everybody about both systems, is the question is, do I have my client's consent to use this? And the answer is yes in both cases, because as Wayne said, there's that third party, I consent to, using my info in third party software applications for the purpose of mortgage services. That's what this is. So in our case, you can think of Ownwell like a CRM. You're using a CRM, you've got the client's consent to do that. This is the same thing. Same goes for Purelend. Yeah. Okay. A question was, this one's for you, Wayne, from Tefereth. What about determining fraudulent or edited statements? I think you guys do that. So that's...
So, we do have, as you can imagine, we do, like I said, we do have 6 lenders on our platform. A lot of pressure to increase and better enhance our fraud detection. Right now, math and logic fraud, We do have more enhanced fraud that's coming. We're still a couple of months away from it. We do have a prototype. It's going to let you know that, hey, we believe this document has been modified or altered in some way. So we don't have that today. It is coming.
Excellent. Okay, great. Jeff, can you edit the verification date after you have started a file?
Yeah. That's for me, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, absolutely. You have the ability to make a lot of enhancements or changes to the file even after the application. So we do give you a lot of flexibility, 100%. And by the way, a lot of people will be running these reports, say down payment report, multiple times. So you might run it first. You might, you still need some documents. You don't have everything there. You go back to the client. You get those additional documents, rerun those reports. So typically, you're rerunning 2 or 3 times.
Okay, great. And next one, also for you, Wayne, that client portal interface, is that mobile friendly?
It is. Yes.
Great,
It's
cool.
mobile. Yeah.
And just Rod made a great comment here. Just want to shout it
Yeah.
out as well. So Rod, 12 out of 10 for Purelend. We have run close to 200 apps in the past few months. That's been awesome. So yeah, wow, power user there with Rod.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tefereth, I think this is a question for us. So if you connect Finmo and you also have a CSV, can I do both? Absolutely. So basically, we make it such that you can get all of your data in from any different source into Ownwell as long as it has like the required fields. And so, Finmo, Phylogix, Velocity, Scarlet, we can handle it all. So the way to think about it is you want to get all your historical data in there. And again, you can import it from multiple different sources. It doesn't matter. And then you'll want to make sure you've got your like kind of go forward process set up. So like, let's say, you're using Finmo now, link your Finmo so that any new funded file that comes into Ownwell, that client is automatically going to get enrolled. And we go over all this in our live onboarding, by the way. So if you don't feel like you need to figure this all out up front, we do have a team that's going to help guide you with that and will be available if anyone has questions. Compatible with Scarlet, yes. We don't have a direct link to Scarlet yet. We are going to be working on that. In the meantime, though, you can generate an export from Scarlet, import into our system. Can we create email templates and include our signature? I think this is for Ownwell. For that, the automated report that goes out each month, it is a standard. It's a standard email, but all of your contact info is in the email signature there, and so the client knows it's coming from you. They can reply to it. It'll go to your email. All that's handled. Home value is available across the country, no exceptions. So Saskatchewan, BC, Alberta, literally everywhere. I don't think the territories might be a bit sparse, but everything else, we've got it. Okay, can Wayne highlight stated income document reviewing? Colin, so Wayne, do you want to take the short version of that, and then maybe there's somewhere else that you can direct Colin to see how that works, perhaps?
Yeah. Yeah. How about, one of the things that I recommend is that we do tailored demos as well. So if you want to see a full feature that's really for you, certainly let me just show you what the outcome, the result looks like really quickly here. This would be one that was completed here. This is, they uploaded 12 months bank statements. This is not the module. This is the what you would export into an Excel. So this took 5 minutes to generate. This is a entire income statement for the entire year. You have a summary of all the expenses, all the revenue. We do show you all the raw transactions, how they're categorized for the entire year as well. So all this done, this is what kind of shows up in 5 minutes. So to go into more detail, that's something that happy to do a demo. If you want to reach out to me directly, I can tailor one to your business.
Very cool. Very cool. And Wayne, I'll include this in the email later, but if someone does want a demo, should they just go on the website and request one, or should I include someone's email?
Yeah, I'll include my. I do the demos for the most part.
Okay.
We discuss them as well, my co-founder, but usually I'm doing the bulk of them. So I do have a link specifically for that. So I'll send that to you, Dan.
Okay. Okay, great. All right. Jeff's got a question. Can we get the Purelend offer if we signed up last week? Well, certainly if anyone at Ownwell signed up last week that are on this call, I'm happy to extend our offer to them.
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're on the
Okay.
call and you want to take advantage of these extras, absolutely happy to do that. Just send again. You'll have my contact information, and just reach out directly to me.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so I've got a question from Andre. Does Purelend work with Property Fox, and how does Property Fox compare to Ownwell? Okay, so maybe I can take the does Property Fox compare to Ownwell? So I don't know the platform well. I do know some of our customers have tried it. What we've heard from them is that it's good at like the mortgage calculations and helping you identify opportunities in your database. What I've heard we do better is the whole putting you in the right place at the right time thing by helping bring to the surface these potential life-related mortgage opportunities that aren't something you can find just by crunching the numbers in the database. So those open rates on the reports and the kinds of stories like we had from Jeff, I haven't heard those from Property Fox. They don't do the kind of like every month homeownership report thing like we do. Um, but Wayne, do Purelend and Ownwell, sorry, do Purelend and Property Fox work together in any way? Do you know about that?
No, no, I not honestly, I'm not too familiar with Property Fox either. So I'm not too familiar. But yeah, there's no integration or anything, if that's the question.
Cool. Okay, sounds good. Stephanie's got a question. I think this applies to both of us. So, can you pay monthly? I know you can pay monthly for Pureland. You can pay monthly for Ownwell. Yep. So it's all on our pricing pages of our websites. You can see the differences and choose one or the other. I've got a question for our landing page feature. Yes, that is only available to annual subscribers. And we do that on purpose, actually. We want to make sure that anyone that is going out there and using that landing page to build their database is really committed, basically. We want them to dive in with both feet. And also, we want to limit the number of people that are out there doing this because we see it as such an opportunity right now with these existing databases of homeowners. We kind of want to give those that commit to the year a bit of a head start. So yes, it's only on annual. Uh, Casey, tough to see how many clients I have in Finmo. So trying to choose the right package for Ownwell could be tricky. Long story short, don't worry about the exact number. You can change the number after the fact. Casey, when you link your Finmo account, we will tell you exactly how many files there are to import. And you can always choose to pay for more client capacity in Ownwell after the fact. So don't worry about getting the number right. You can always adjust it later. So you're in full control there. I think we've got a couple more questions. From Casey, if we opt out, what happens to the database? If you opt out of Ownwell, we delete the database. So that's that. I think Wayne said in his case also, if you cancel or delete the application, data goes away.
Yeah.
And is this something that can be used for email marketing if there's not enough deals to use? Yes. Okay. So I love that question. So I'm gonna steal the screen share back for a minute and show you what I mean by this. If you have that, if you've got that landing page, what you can do with it, and we see this from some of our top performers, is what they do is they use this to target old prospects that might not have closed. So, or really old contacts, but anyone whose contact info that you have who might have a home, you can draft an email. In fact, we can help you with it. We've got a template for it where you can email and say, hey, look, I've just invested in this new benefit for my clients. They love it because it's allowing them to monitor their mortgage. They're able to figure out if they're overpaying. They can track their home value. Blah blah blah. I'm now extending it out to all of you or anyone that I've worked with in the past. No obligation, but if you want to see your complete situation in 30 seconds for free, sign up here, and you basically just paste in your little link here. They navigate this page. Works great on mobile as well. They can get their free report. They enter some info, and that's all there is to it. So that is one great use of this. The other use that I'll share that I don't think enough mortgage brokers have done yet is using this on social media. So we've got people that are they're literally they built Instagram campaigns around this, saying something like, "Hey, I know something that the bank doesn't want you to know, and it's that if you bought your home or got your mortgage in 2023 or 2024, you are almost certainly overpaying right now. If you want to find out exactly how much, click here. It's free." And that has gotten some really great conversion. So that's another way that you could use this page, especially if you're trying to build up your book of business. And it is embeddable in a website. Our support team can help you do that. It's a very quick little like code that you enter into an iframe and it's all set. So if that's something you want, we can cover that with you after signing up. Um, Great questions, folks. Got one from Matt here. Can you link multiple accounts? For example, a team of two brokers agents together load for both accounts. You totally could. You totally could. Great question to cover during onboarding. Our head of customer success, Arthur, who does all that onboarding, he can kind of help you figure out the optimal structure there. Yes. So I think that is it for all the open questions. Let me just double check and make sure we've got all of them. I still have another 10 minutes if anyone has any other questions. So yeah, feel free to fire some more into the chat if you have them. Maybe give you guys 30 more seconds to ask questions, and then if nothing comes through, we'll wrap this up and we'll distribute the recording over email to anyone who registered later, and we'll include all the details in that email, who to get in touch with if you need to learn more about something, the offers, how to get started, all that good stuff. Okay, Casey, should I book a demo so they can tell me my client? No, don't book a demo. The demos are only right now for sales right now. And so what I'd suggest, Casey, is start with the minimum number. Like start with 100. That way you can be sure that you're not overpaying because the 100 is the minimum plan. And then afterwards, once you see your Finmo count, which you'll see in Ownwell, you can choose right there if you want to add more client capacity, you can, and you can pay for it directly within the app yourself. Exactly. And then also anyone that signs up, they'll get access to our onboarding calendar to book a call. Okay. Wayne, any last words before we close this out?
No, I really appreciate everyone's time. I think this has been awesome. I certainly a lot of alignment between Ownwell and Purelend, and excited that if anyone has any questions, obviously, like Dan said, you're going to get my contact information, and love to continue any conversations.
Yeah. No, thank you, everybody. The attendance has been amazing today. The engagement and questions and feedback has been excellent. I guess the message I want to close out with is maybe what I started with, and it's just that I think we both understand that this is both an exciting and an overwhelming time. I mean, frankly, like it's hard for us to keep up, and we're a tech company, for crying out loud. So I can only imagine, and you're hearing all these messages on social media, all these influencers trying to sell you, an AI course or something like that. And I think the thing I just want to put out there is, there's a lot of noise. Focus on testing out the couple things that, you can see from talking to other brokers out there are actually working. These are two examples. Don't try to build this stuff yourself, at least not initially. Wayne has him and a whole team working full time on the best, document review product possible. Same goes for us. We've got 5 full-time people that are focused on helping brokers get as much from their existing database as possible. So give them a shot. We think you'll like it. And just thanks again for everyone who attended. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.